Hey guys, Jessica with Tapestry here, and today we're going to make this beautiful rose bouquet topper. It is super beautiful. I just love the way it came out. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and don't forget to follow me on social media. Okay, first things first, let me go ahead and apologize for the black bars on the sides of this tutorial. I recorded vertically instead of horizontally, so I apologize for that. The material that we're using is called Model Magic. Okay, you can find this pretty much anywhere. It's around $3 to $4, and it is an air dry clay. Okay, it's very lightweight and kind of spongy. The reason we're using Model Magic is because we're using a lot of roses, okay? And we are going to seal that with epoxy. So we didn't want to use our oven baked clay because that's heavier, okay? And here all I'm doing is going ahead and coloring the Model Magic with some alcohol ink prior, so I don't have to use as much alcohol ink in the end. They do sell Model Magic in a variety of colors. However, if you cannot find the color that you're looking for, feel free to go ahead and use alcohol ink to color it. And when you're done coloring it, go ahead and store it in a little Ziploc bag until you are ready to make your petals. Okay, so once you have your desired color, you want to go ahead and take your rolling pin and roll this out. You want to roll this out as thin as you can get it, and you want to make sure that your surface that you're rolling it out on is free from any glitter, because this air dry clay will pick up any little speck of glitter, okay? And so once you have it to the thinnest you can possibly get it, applying even pressure on the sides and the middle, you want to take your metal cutters and you want to cut your petals. Okay, so next you want to take your flower press and you want to put your petals of air dry clay in between and kind of just press it together to get that texture. Okay, and then you want to set them aside. Okay, so the amount of petals that you put on your topper will depending upon how big you want your topper to be. Okay, all you do is take your petal and you wrap it, into a little circle, and then you'll take your second petal and all you do is put it on the fold. Okay, if you're doing a two-tone rose, you want to cut off the excess color in between colors, and then you're just going to repeat the process. It's pretty simple. You're going to take your next petal and wrap it around the fold. You can make your rose open up by just pulling some of the petals apart, okay? And the more petals you add, the bigger your roses will be, the more fuller your topper will be. Okay, so you have a couple options here. If you would like your color to be a little bit more deeper or vibrant, you can go ahead and dilute your alcohol ink with some just alcohol and then hand paint the roses the color that you want. Or if you have an airbrush, you can go ahead and do the same thing. Just add some alcohol with some alcohol ink inside the container and kind of just airbrush the color on. Okay, so try not to worry too much about getting your color perfect. You will have time later on to go ahead and fix any color, combination that you want. But the alcohol ink does help the air dry clay to dry quicker. Okay, so just kind of have fun with it, play around with the colors, see which combinations you like. Okay, and then go ahead and set them aside and then let them air dry overnight. Okay, so here I am just taking my airbrush with mostly alcohol, and I am just going to lightly mist my roses um, just to get the color to bleed into all the nooks and crannies. Um, you can kind of get lost in painting these roses. It's very relaxing and therapeutic. Okay, so once you're satisfied again with the color, then you're just gonna let them sit and dry overnight. Okay, so make sure you have your safety goggles on when you're using your Dremel. Okay, so the plastic pieces, if they fall off, you're protected. But it is all about options for me when I'm creating these toppers. Okay, so a lot of the vendors, um, a lot of the tumbler suppliers, they have the different tumblers with the dome shaped lid. And they already have a straw hole, right? But if you do not want that particular size of tumbler, how would you make a topper? So the ornament is a great alternative for a rose topper or a dome topper for a different size tumbler. So all I'm doing here is carefully cutting the bottom of the ornament off. Okay, and once you make your first cut, you could take your scissors and you could go ahead and just cut the bottom off. But you want to go ahead and carefully remove the bottom of your plastic ornament, and then you're going to go ahead and measure for your lid. Okay, and you just want to go ahead and get your scissors and cut the jagged edge off. Okay, so the lid that I am using has a sliding mechanism. So I'm gonna remove the sliding mechanism, and these are really simple to remove if this is your first time making a topper. You literally can just press it from the bottom and then pull it from the top, okay? And then I'm gonna take my plastic dome and I am gonna put it on to my lid to kind of make sure that I can measure where the straw hole needs to be. Being that it's clear and we haven't painted it yet, it's very easy to see where my straw hole needs to be. So I'm taking a marker and I'm just gonna kind of, look and put a little mark onto the plastic, and then I can pierce it with my scissors to make the straw hole. You guys know those hot fix tools that a lot of people use for their snow globe tumblers? You could probably use one of those and, get the straw hole a nice clean circle. But here I am just taking my scissors and kind of going around to make my straw hole. You do want to think about the straw that you're going to be providing for your customer. So I would suggest that the straw hole be, the same size or a little bigger. Measure, measure, measure. I cannot say that enough. Okay, so we measured the dome when we cut that off to fit onto the lid, and then we're measuring that the straw hole lines up. Okay, and then once we're done with that, all that cutting, we can go ahead and clean the inside of the plastic piece. Okay, and once that is all clean, then we can go ahead and put it on our tumbler turner arm. There are so many cool turners now. When I first started, I had the PVC pipe with my football, and it kind of still is my go-to. But here is another cool Turner arm. It has like an inflatable football on the end of it, so you could use that if you want to. But for this tutorial, we're going to go ahead and use the football, and we are just going to push it into the plastic dome. We want to push it as far in as we can because we want to make sure that this does not fall out once it's on the turner. Okay, so I went ahead and spray painted this a color that complemented the roses. And then I'm just applying some glue here, and I am going to glitter it, another color that complements the roses. And then I'm going to go ahead and take it over to my turner. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and seal all that glitter in. You're gonna go ahead and get your favorite fast setting resin. I am using Fast Set by CC DIY, and you are just going to, apply this to your plastic dome. All right, and you are gonna make sure you're wearing your PPE, which is your nitrile gloves and a mask. And then you are going to let this cure. All right, and once this cures, you'll remove it from your football, and then it will be time to add the roses. So if I had used the inflatable arm, then I would have been able to deflate it, and it would have separated the epoxy from the arm. But being I used the football foam arm, I'm having to take my X-Acto knife and just kind of cut around the edge to, pierce that resin so I can separate it from the arm. Okay, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and take some scissors and cut off that jagged edge, and then we're ready to add it to our lid. Okay, so go ahead and get your dome, get it lined up on your lid, make sure that the straw holes match, okay? And then you are going to get your UV resin and your UV light, and you're going to add some UV resin around the rim, okay? And then you are going to let that cure. You want to make sure that there are no gaps between your plastic dome and the lid. Okay, so it's finally time for the fun part, okay? We want to make sure that we are looking at where the front of the topper is and the back. Okay, so the back of the topper is where the straw hole is going to be, and the front is where that little notch is. Okay, so we are going to just take our hot glue and we're going to add it to the bottom of the rose, and we are going to place these roses all around, getting it in the perfect shape to make our rose bouquet. Okay, so short story. When I first started making this topper, what I had in mind was Valentine's Day. I thought of roses on a tumbler. I mean, how beautiful would that be, for Valentine's Day? But then Encanto came out, and oh my gosh, if you guys have not checked out that movie, it is definitely something you should check out. I can relate to the character Isabella because one of her things is she feels like she has to be perfect. And, it is not until she kind of just releases that she's able to make beautiful, unexpected masterpieces. And so this flower topper, the purple and fuchsia, it kind of reminds me of her. And her song is What Else Can I Do? I absolutely love that song because it kind of gives us inspiration. What else can we do? Okay, so in my Patreon group, we challenge each other to think outside the box, kind of keep pushing the envelope and keep creating. And I hope that you guys make this topper, and I hope that you're inspired to do so as well. and you're done. Okay, so you may have some pieces that break off. This is air dry clay, so as it hardens, it does get kind of fragile. So you may have some pieces that broke off. So what you want to do is just get your alcohol ink, and you can dilute it with some alcohol, and take your paintbrush and just kind of dab onto the spots that need some extra TLC. Okay, and as well as your alcohol ink bottle, you can just take that and dab it right into the air dry clay, and it still will absorb the color. Okay, so you're going to get your FDA compliant resin together. You are going to mix up about 25 milliliters, and you are going to get your paintbrush, and you're going to get ready to paint your roses. We need to seal in this alcohol ink, okay? Because in its current state, it is very fragile and it is not hand washable. So we need to go ahead and make it hand washable. There's no real rhyme or reason, okay? We just don't want to have globs of epoxy inside the roses. So while I'm painting this, I am, kind of paying attention to, how it falls in between. And if if it collects in a certain area, I go ahead and scoop it out and apply it to another area. Always wear your PPE, which is your nitrile gloves, and your mask, okay? And after you have sealed all of, your petals in with your epoxy, you want to let it cure, and then you want to go ahead and add a second layer just to make sure that you have gotten everything and it's all sealed, and then you're good to go. Okay guys, well, I had so much fun sharing this tutorial with you. I truly hope you enjoyed it. I honestly cannot wait to see you create something. Please tag me on social media so I will get the notification. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more.